Alright, listen here, we're all pro Minecraft gamers, right? But the game is just too easy. I mean, I slayed the dragon's head, I stole the dragon's egg, all in my netherite armor with my netherite sword. I need something a lot more difficult. And no, I did not get this in creative. Do not accuse me of anything. The add-on that we're revealing in today's video is the Difficulty Brutal add-on by Octovon. It's currently rated 4.9 stars out of 5 stars from 43 reviews, and it costs only 490 mine tokens, which is the equivalent of £2.49 in my local currency. It says experience this extreme add-on that intensifies survival with thirst, limb damage, climate hazards, and rotting food. Face an unforgiving world where food decays, injuries cripple, and climates affect how you explore the world. Health monitor to display your vitals. Limbs can now take damage. Food now decays over time. Biomes impact your body temperature. Let's get this add-on revealed. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, the Dazman, and in today's video we are in a brand new creative world for the Difficulty Brutal add-on by Octovon. If you enjoy this add-on reveal, please do leave a like on the video, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think of the add-on, let me know what you think of the reveal video, and clarify any mistakes I may have made or fill us in on anything that I may not have got to. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. I would absolutely appreciate it if you could. We're on the road now to 6,400 subscribers, so if you can help us get there, I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to start this video like we always start our add-on reveals, by taking a look at the guidebook. So let's start then by looking at what you get when you load into a brand new world. You get given the Difficulty Brutal add-on guidebook, and you get given the Difficulty Brutal health monitor. We'll get into both of those shortly. This add-on is also less than 1 megabyte in size for those of you who care. So let's get the guidebook open, and it is a menu. It says Difficulty Brutal. Experience this brutally hard add-on that intensifies survival with thirst, limb damage, climate hazards, and rotting food. Face an unforgiving experience where food decays, injuries cripple, and extreme weather forces constant adaptation. Only the strongest will survive. A very strong intro there, even if I can't read properly. And in this guidebook guide menu we have a few different selections. So we have the features and tutorials section, we have the recipes section, the add-on settings, and the help and support section. So let's begin. If you need any help or support, first of all, this is a brutal add-on, you probably need help and support. If you have any issues, questions, or feedback to give, you can reach out to Octovon through their website or email them. The links, the link and the email address are right there. You can also follow them on any of their social media platforms or join their community Discord server with the links there as well. And remember to leave a like if you or a rating even. This isn't YouTube for them. Remember to leave a rating if you enjoyed this add-on. They also have a changelog here as well, which tells you the current version, the initial release, and what their roadmap is. Very good. Always good to have those informations going on there, and then we can hit back again. So the places we're going to be looking at, first of all, we're going to check the features and tutorials, and you get told about all of the different features in the game. So we can see there is a health monitor. There will be a thirst bar, limb damage, climate hazards, insulated armor, rotting food, and talisman. So we might as well glance at each of these. The health monitor, for instance. Survival in Difficulty Brutal requires more than just keeping track of your health and hunger. The health monitor provides a way to track your thirst, body temperature, and limb health. Without it, you'll never know when something's wrong, and neglecting your vitals can have serious consequences. How do I monitor my vitals? When you hold the health monitor item in your main hand, it opens a detailed menu where you can check all your vitals. If you keep it in your offhand, a condensed version appears next to your hotbar for quick access. How do I tell if something's wrong? The health monitor changes color to warn you when things are getting critical. Orange shows a vital is approaching a dangerous level, red shows a vital is in critical condition, and immediate action is required to avoid severe consequences. And then on here as well, we have an effects list just to tell you what all of the different icons and all of the different effects are. One of them's broken there, but apparently you can be dehydrated, you can have a damaged limb, you can be warm, you can overheat, suffer heat stroke, be cold, suffer frostbite, and even suffer hypothermia. And then it gets a little bit more information on each of those effects and how you get them and what you get with them. Another nice feature of the book as well is, if we go back slightly again, if you're on a page that you want to pay attention to, you can pin that page. What that then does is, if you close the book for whatever reason and then go back to the book, you start on the page you had pinned, so you don't have to go through 4 or 5 different menus just to get back to where you were. And you can unpin it again, back out, start again in the book, and you're back at the beginning. So yeah, that's the health monitor. We'll look at that in the items section. We've also got Thirst. Thirst depletes over time, and it depletes faster when you're hot. If your thirst is fully depleted, you'll start taking tick damage, similar to hunger. How do I manage my thirst? To manage your thirst, the best option is to drink water. You can use bottles or the newly introduced water flask. Keep an eye on your thirst bar and drink regularly to avoid the negative effects of dehydration. How do I use the water flask? To fill the water flask, interact with a water source or filled cauldron. Each flask holds up to 3 full thirst charges, providing a reliable way to stay hydrated across your adventures. What other items replenish thirst? Here are some food items that can replenish your thirst with the percentage of the thirst bar they restore. So you can see there are also heavy water foods that will also help you with your thirst. This already seems like one of the best add-ons I've ever seen. I really hope it works in practice. The price, what you get, absolutely crazy. There's limb damage in this. When you take damage, your limbs aren't left unscathed. Each limb can be damaged individually, and as the damage accumulates, it triggers various effects based on the threshold reached. These effects can significantly impact your movement and combat abilities. How does limb damage work? Damage from different sources such as entities, explosions, or fire will apply to specific parts of your body. As each limb's health reaches certain levels, it triggers corresponding effects that vary depending on the limb and the type of damage. What are the effects of limb damage? Each limb has its own effects when damaged, and you get told what those effects are. So legs can suffer slowness of varying degrees. Right arm can suffer mining fatigue. 100% will give you damage when you're attacking, so it will hurt to hurt other entities. The left arm gives you items in your offhand will automatically drop when equipped, so you lose grip. Body at 100% damage gives you tick damage. Your head at 75% damage gives you darkness, and at 100% damage gives you blindness and tick damage. What types of damage affect limbs? Different damage types affect each limb in varying ways. Entities can affect all limbs, most on head and body. Taking full damage or magma damage can give you moderate leg damage. Having an anvil or falling block land on you can give you major head damage. Magic or withering effects can give you body and head moderate to major damage. Freezing can primarily attack your arms and legs. Drowning or suffocation will affect your body and head, moderate to major damage. Fire will attack all limbs with moderate damage. Explosion will attack all limbs with moderate to major damage. And lava affects all limbs with major damage. Are there any other ways that I can damage my limbs? Walking on snow or ice without insulated boots, I believe that's meant to say boots, will slowly damage your legs. Breaking blocks without using tools will also damage your right arm. So punching a tree is actually going to hurt your knuckles. That's mad. Then there are also climate hazards. Now we're just going to glance at these. There's a massive amount here for us to be reading. But you can see that there are certain things like hot temperature will make you feel warm. 75% you'll experience overheat. And at 100%, of feeling hot, you will suffer heat stroke, which will cause nausea. Same again for cold, but that gives you cold, frostbite, and hypothermia. And you can stay cool in warm biomes, and you can get warmer in cold biomes, and the book does tell you. But certain things like swimming in water will lower your temperature, and going to the nether will raise your temperature. It's absolutely crazy what we've got here. Absolutely crazy on here. Just make sure you give this a read. I'm really excited to check this out. They introduce insulated armor. There is rotting food as well. So food in containers or your inventory will spoil over time. Raw food and crops will become rotten, while baked goods and cooked food will first go stale before eventually rotting as well. If you eat spoiled food, there will be consequences. Stale food restores fewer hunger points than the original item and has very poor nutritional value. Rotten food can give you nausea, hunger, or poisoning. How can you stop food from spoiling? To preserve food for longer, you can place a block of blue ice in the container holding the food. This slows down spoilage significantly. That is crazy. If I put a block of blue ice in a chest with food, it will slow down the rotting effect. What? Is this even Bedrock anymore? This is mad. Oh, please work. And then lastly, there are talismans. So talismans are rare and powerful items that provide passive benefits when kept in your inventory. Each talisman grants a unique effect that can help with survival. There are two talismans, the Preservation Talisman and the Moisturizing Talisman. The Preservation Talisman completely prevents food from spoiling when stored in your inventory or any container. The talisman is obtained by defeating the Wither. Moisturizing Talisman slows down thirst depletion, allowing you to stay hydrated for longer. This talisman is obtained by defeating the Elder Guardian. One of those definitely seems a lot easier than the other in my opinion, but that's crazy. I am so impressed by the premise of this add-on already to begin with. And then the next 2 pages, there's a recipe page. You can flick through and get the recipes for what you need on here. We won't spend a ton of time on that. And then lastly, the add-on settings. So you can enable or disable notifications. You can make it so that you only see your health menu in your offhand when you're sneaking, so it takes up less of the screen. You can enable it so you will only see your temperature and your thirst stats in your action bar slightly above your hotbar. And you can change it whether or not you use the metric system or the imperial system. Like, wow, just genuinely crazy. And then, just if you thought it was a little bit weirder, there's also a difficulty setting. So you can have it variance between 1, 2, and 3. It's default set to 3, which is the brutal difficulty, which is its namesake. But if that's too difficult, the game gives you an option, or the add-on gives you an option. You can turn it down to 2, and it will become very hard, which gives you an extra 25% limb health and also saves you 25% thirst and 25% food spoiling, slowing it down. Or you can make it level 1, which is just hard, you know, nice and easy, just the hard difficulty, which gives you 50% extra limb health and slows down thirst and food by 50% of the time. So, you know, you're not stuck just on brutal, and then you can save the settings. That's absolutely mad. Honestly, the premise is crazy, and I can't wait to get into this. So let's have a look at the items that are included in this add-on. So for the items introduced into this add-on, I think it's fair to say there's probably 3 different sections. First of all, we've got the health monitor. Now this comes with its own UI, its own interactive ability here, but you can see when you're holding it in your hotbar and you hover over it, you can see your thirst in the top left. We're currently half thirst, which is fine, we're in creative. You can see your temperature, which means we are not hot, we are not cold, we are Goldilocks, and we are just right. And then we can see our limbs. Now you can see the head, the arm, the body, the legs, and the other arm. My right arm is currently at 4 health for some reason. My left arm is at 5. 5. Not sure why. Haven't left creative this whole time. But hey, what can you do? I'm on 4. Maybe it's deteriorated over time while I was setting up the world. I'm not sure. But that's not all it does. So if you go into here, you can put it into your offhand. Now, I have it set, I believe at least, to be only visible when I'm sneaking in the settings of the guidebook. So if I sneak, there it is. It pops up and I can see it where my offhand would be if we had 2 hands on our screen. And you can see the temperature and each of my different limbs. If I stand up, it goes away. If I crouch, it comes back. Now, we can also go into the book, go into our add-on settings, and we can set it to action bar stats, save, and then there they are there as well. So I can always see what my temperature is. I can always see what my first level is right there. And then if I creep, we're back like that as well. So that's cool. I think that's really, really good. And then if I want to put it back and see the big screen, just take it off my offhand, hover it back, and there we go. Let me put this back in my offhand for now in case we're going to need it. And there we go. That's working fine. Next up then, we have the more health and survival kind of items. So we get an enhanced bandage and a bandage. Should have done that the other way around. We get fabric. We get a medicinal kit. Now, these are all used when you have taken damage. Well, fabric helps you make certain materials. You can make bandages. You can add it to armors for insulation. But the medicinal kit and the bandages are here to help us when we take damage. So, for instance, if I go up here and I then set my world into survival, like so, and jump off and take some damage, we can see, first of all, well, I didn't take much damage. My limbs are fine. I want to actually see what happens when I take some damage. Let's do that again. My thirst is already going down. My temperature is ticking. Does not want to affect me. Doesn't want to affect my legs. I'm strong. Leg day is every day. You know what I'm saying? Let's go again. Doesn't want to take any leg damage. I wanted to check this in the experience, but how much do I have to fall for this? Let's go again. I'm going to die. Oh, there we go. I've taken some damage to my legs. Taken some damage to my legs now, and obviously my arm is hurt. So, with a bandage, I interact. It brings up a menu. This will heal 50% of limbs health. So I can then choose, right, my right arm is 80% damaged. Let me do that. We get a little animation on there. And now my right arm is healed. If I go with the enhanced bandage, and I just want to make sure I don't get attacked by a creeper, this will heal 100% of the limb's health. Same principle, find your limb and get your little animation like so, and now you're healed. It doesn't actually heal your health, so you have to handle your health differently when it comes to bandages. Your health and your limb damage seem to be independent of each other. And then we've got the medicinal kit, which you eat, and that, I don't actually know what that did. I guess that would have healed up everything, but was an eat, not a menu. So the health things that we get in this add-on do not affect our actual health. Bear that in mind. You're not going to get hearts from using those. Then we have the talismans, which we've already spoken about. So the moisturizing talisman and the preservation talisman, when you're holding them, seem to do things. If we hover over it, you don't get much mention, but I suppose if they're on you, you're okay. Don't know. But we might experience more of that in the experience. I guess my first won't go down. Let's go back into survival. Will my first tick down? I mean, it's still ticking down. Moisturizing talisman. It's still ticking down even though I'm holding it. Let's see if we can work out what's gone on here then. So talismans again. Talismans are rare and powerful items that provide passive benefits when kept in your inventory. Slows down first. Oh, it slows down first depletion. It doesn't stop it. It just slows it down. If that's slow, then I got no idea, man. That must have been crazy without that. Let's throw it away. How fast does my first disappear when I'm not holding it? It seems this. No, that seems a little bit faster. Ever so slightly faster. But there we go. So those are the kind of health survival style items that you get in this add-on. And then we've got the food. So pretty much every food in Minecraft Vanilla has a rotting or moldy variant, as you can see, and you can probably see what each of the different ones are. But on the left, you've got moldy and rotten pumpkin pie, moldy and rotten cookies, moldy and rotten potatoes cooked and standard. There is even an extra poisonous potato, moldy, stale and rotten chicken. That might have been the other way around actually, but yeah, you can see that. And it's all the way. We've got the different meat variants. You've got rabbit, we've got the fruit and veg down here, we've got puffer fish and the different fish food sources, we've got bread and more fish again, and then also the bowls of food. So we get moldy beetroot soup, moldy mushroom stew, stale beetroot soup, moldy rabbit stew, stale mushroom stew, and stale rabbit stew there as well. So they've covered all the bases. There is no food other than maybe golden carrots that aren't going to take some form of damage. That's just a normal carrot there, right? Yeah, rotten carrot. So golden carrots might have to be the way forward here. And because I'm an absolute silly goose, I completely forgot to put the water flasks here, but they are here too as well. So you get an empty water flask and you can turn that into a filled water flask. Quite simply, if we go down away from the guy with a trident, I think, if we go over here and we go into survival, I have my empty water flask. I go up to water and interact. I've now filled it back up and immediately can drink from it. So we'll drink. And it sets your first back to 100%, but first ticks down crazy. And it also takes durability when you're using it. But that's only when you're drinking it. So as you drink it, the durability takes a hit. Not every time, but it does seem to take a hit. I suppose it depends on how much water you're going to be using. But hey, that's quite cool. And there is a way to get drinking in the game actually working. I'm mesmerized by this entire add-on so far. Let's check out the new armors that are added. Right then, so for the armors that are added into this add-on, it's each of the vanilla stages of armor. So the leather, the chainmail, the gold, the iron, the diamond, and the netherite, but they are all insulated. So if we take this armor off, we'll start with the leather one to begin with here, just to have a look. We can see on here, it is insulated leather armor of each piece. If we put them all on, I was expecting there to be some form of effect, but it doesn't seem to give us any effect. I'm a little bit worried about the creepers that are over there. So if we go into survival, is there an effect? No, it just says you're starting to feel warm on the top left. And that's because I'm wearing insulated armor in a non-cold biome, I think. What happens if I go over here? My temperature gauge is going down straight away. If I take this off, so it was 61.2. We're cooling down very quickly now. Put that on. Okay, so it's leveled out at 59.7. Stays at 59.5, 59.4. Put the whole lot on. I was expecting it to kind of turn up a little bit. Doesn't seem to. So it's not immediate, apparently. But if I come up over here... 59.7, 59.5, 60. Depending on where I am in the biome, my temperature is ticking up. Drop that back off again. Okay, no, it's still going up. Okay, so it's not necessarily the armor that's making me warm here. Look at that, I'm up to 67.1% Fahrenheit. 67.5. Guys, I'm not wearing them. What are you doing? Look, I threw off. I don't want them. 67.8. Oh my. Okay. So my temperature, now my temperature's going down because I'm getting closer and closer to the water. Wow, this is going to be so difficult to manage on here. But yeah, so we get it for different types. So that was the leather. We didn't see any actual change really. Let's grab one of each of the netherite. Let's put these on and see what happens. You're starting to feel warm. Okay, so something's definitely happened because I'm still in this biome and I'm wearing the netherite armor, but my temperature's not raising. But it is on the left-hand side there. That's weird. So which one's right? Because that's not 59.2 Fahrenheit. I mean, look at that. It's ticking across. That's very weird. Let's see what happens if I turn that off. Okay, see, look, it's a there seems to be a bit of a bug by having it in the menu there. The temperature doesn't seem to react as quick. That's weird. But if we put it on, look, we can see it ticking up with each piece on the left-hand side. Wow. Okay, I think the one in your offhand is a lot better than the one in the action bar. That seems to have glitched and froze. But wow, look at that. The way that just maneuvered based on what armor I was wearing is absolutely crazy. And look, the little color change there as well because I was getting hot. That's so cool. So what happens then? It does the same thing for each leather armor piece as well. Starting to feel warm. That's mad. Okay, that is genuinely mad. It's not even effects. Like, you don't get any weird heating effect for wearing the full set. It just affects the heat, basically. So one thing I wanted to check then, as we always do, is can we mend these? You can enchant them. That's cool. And then another thing I wanted to check was, can we put armor trims on them? So we've got that. We've got our silence armor trim. I've got my redstone. You can actually armor trim them. Put that on. Wow. Now that, hey, you know what? This add-on's amazing. I don't even care. This add-on is crazy. So those are the armors and those are the items that you get in this add-on. I've already shown you a bit of the experience, but I think we're going to run around for a bit. We're just going to test a few things, test some damages, maybe fight someone, take some damage and see what happens and see what it's like in a cold biome, see what it's like in a hot biome and just gauge the reaction. So let's go and see what the experience is like. Alright then, so for this test, I've turned off the sneak setting so we can see our temperature and our thirst at all times on the screen on the left hand side. We'll use creative to fly around a little bit, but what I want to see is what happens when we go into a cold biome. So we've got the snowy peaks up here. Let's see, is it going to do anything in creative? Doesn't seem to do anything in creative, which is absolutely fine. I didn't want it to. That's cool. But what happens then if I go here and go into survival? So yeah, look, it's already ticking over to the cold and we get a little temperature error. Look, it's like, stop, you're getting frostbite. Oh, we are taking damage. Hang on. Whoa. Okay, put my insulated armor on. There we go. And that's okay. So the insulated armor puts us straight back to normal. We are no longer suffering hypothermia. Let me just eat my golden carrots. Okay, that did not run. That was very quick how that did that. I kind of want to see as well, does our temperature change at night? So let's see. I want to get out of this area. Let's go back into creative again. That was crazy how quick that changed. Let's go down here. You know what? Pair this with like a realistic biome so you can get your little biome labels coming up as well. Wait, this could be a game changer, you know. This could be a genuine game changer. So now we're in a normal biome. I'm going to take off this stuff and see what happens as it gets darker. Now, I would expect my temperature to drop a bit at night. I don't know, but I tend to feel that's how it would work in real life. Gets colder at night, cooler even. Doesn't seem to be having that effect at the moment in terms of my heat gauge. Oh, yes, it is. Look, it's getting colder. It's getting colder at night. This is definitely a brutal add-on here. It's getting colder at night. So, what if I'm holding a torch? Nothing. Nothing changes when I'm holding a torch. I've already got zombies coming for me now. This is great. Oh, I'm getting slowness because I'm so cold. Okay, what if I put a torch down? Come on, there's a heat source there. No. Doesn't care about the torch as a heat source. What about the campfire? It does like the campfire as a heat source. Look at that. Hello, hey, back up. Back up. My legs have taken damage. That's probably from coming out of creative. I'm punching him with no weapon. My right arm is ticking down. Oh, I've taken hit now. Let's see how this goes for my limbs against my health. Look, my head's taking damage. Oh, wow. There's a creeper! Wait, explosion. Yeah, okay, we're actually taking some serious damage here. If I stick next to the campfire, I do warm up. That's awesome. That is a very awesome effect. And just that one boxing match with a zombie has put my head into damage, my body and arms and legs into damage as well. Wow. I'm in awe. I'm not even going to lie to you. I genuinely am in awe. So far, all we've had is a glitchy stat. Hello, you alright, mate? Here you go, have a golden carrot. But there we go. I mean, that eating the golden carrot didn't affect my head or body or arms or leg damage either, which means you do have to go into a health item. So if I eat the medicinal kit puts us back all the way to 100%. That is genuinely mad. Wow. What they can do in Bedrock nowadays, I feel like I'm a granddad at this point, but what they can do is crazy. So what happens then if I throw that down? I've got these in my hand as well, but then I do have blue ice. So does it, like, how long does it take to rotten is probably my question here. I meant to give myself a chest. So let's see with a chest. I just want to know, like, does it happen quickly? Is it based on tick speed? There's so many questions here. And the fact that the health is... What am I doing? I wrote tick. Well, if the fact that the health is, like, independent to the limb damage as well, wow. Like, there's so much that you would need to manage here. How would you even stay on top of it? So we're going to put a chest. And in that chest, I'm going to put blue ice. And I'm going to put a carrot, right? And then I'm going to put another chest. And I'm going to put a carrot, right? Now, I'm not expecting this to do this straight away. Now, would I have to be in survival? Would that affect anything? Maybe. We're going to go into survival. I just don't know how it would affect things. Now, could I cheat it forward? Go this way. Time. Night. Time. Day. So, in theory, I've pushed it forward a day. Spoils in... Oh, look, there's even a message. Spoils in 36 minutes. Okay. Spoils in 144 minutes. Take that out. Still says 144. Let's close that. 36. Oh, wow. So you have to come in and out for it to trigger. 143 minutes versus 35 minutes. The raw beef spoils in 15 minutes. I chuck it in here with the blue ice. And then close it. Spoils in 58 minutes. I don't think I'm, like, hyperbolic at the moment, right? But if this can, like, handle a stress test of people actually playing it for a while, could this be the best add-on of 2025? We've had a few good ones. We have had a few good ones. But when you couple in the price versus what it's offering, this could be crazy. Obviously, somebody would have to play this for a good few hours, a good few days, maybe even a few weeks to get some proper stress testing on this. But right now, the potential is amazing. Guys, let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this add-on? Maybe I missed some stuff. I got very excited by the potential of this, and I probably threw my format out a little bit. But let me know what you guys are thinking. Please do leave a like on the video as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. In this current state, looking at this, how I've seen it in a bubble, this could be one of the best add-ons I think has ever been released in Minecraft Marketplace. And round of applause to Octovon for keeping the price as low as possible. Well done. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching, everybody. Peace.